Have you ever wondered if protesting actually creates long-term change? Or have you ever asked yourself what really creates long-term change? Does protesting change our minds, our brains, or our hearts? And are our hearts or our brains really in charge? Like, where can you really make the biggest impact globally? Well, I'll answer those questions today. I'm Kerry Blaser, reincarnation of Mary Magdalene, the Divine Feminine, and today I'm going to show you why changing the world is an inside job, okay? And we're going to start with Einstein. Gotta love me some science to help a spiritual girl out, you know? I need some science to back me up. So Einstein said, the field is the sole governing agency of the particle. The field, meaning the energy field, controls the particle. The energy field, meaning like our souls, because physicists have proven that we all have energy bodies that communicate through our heart space, soul. So in spiritual communities, we talk about how the spiritual comes before the physical, how the 5D controls the 3D, which Einstein found the same. I mean, Nikola Tesla always says, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, you know? And there's a whole field now of epigenetics, and we'll watch a video in a minute by Dr. Bruce Lipton. Epi means before genetics. And I was recently on a call with him, like 20 people, and he said that less than 1% of our diseases come from our genetics. And then he quoted Einstein, the field is the sole governing agency of the particle. So, and that completely aligns with my work. So let's bring that into protesting. You know, protesting is you make a physical sign, you go scream in the street to create change. That's action to try to get people to surrender it's external reality forcing a change on the internal reality. But science, Einstein, spiritualists all agree that the spiritual, the energy, comes before the physical. So like when you want to create a business, you think of it in your consciousness and then you manifest it in the physical reality. So I see protesting as an external solution to an internal problem. Okay, that's how I see it. And we'll get into it more also. I'm going to show you, we're going to have videos from Dr. Bruce Lipton and then 2 more videos on meditation. And then we'll get to the physics experiment about how changing the world is an inside job. And I had someone asked me on one of my other videos about, do I protest? You know, and this is why I bring this up. Like, it's been shown that when people meditate, like they had 1 million kids meditate in Asia, and they saw a shift in the energy because we can measure it now with all of our science, which is really great. So I'm going to bring up Dr. Bruce Lipton. We'll watch his video first. Make sure I have it. Yep, I have it right here. And let me share my screen and let's watch this one first. The power of epigenetics.
Hold in your mind, the brain releases complementary chemistry that matches that picture, and it releases it into the body. And the chemistry of the blood is what controls the genes and the behavior. Children, when adopted into a family where there's cancer running in that family, the adopted child will get the same family cancer. But the point, the adopted child has totally different genetics. What was the point? It was being adopted into a family where the programming of that child is what caused the cancer. It's consciousness who releases the chemistry to the environment that controls the genes. And you can change your consciousness, and you can change your environment. And all of a sudden I said, oh my God, we were programmed to be victims. It turns out we are masters of our genetic activity. And this is the new science called epigenetics. Whatever picture you hold in your mind.
So like he said, you know, we're a master of our genetics. And through all my healing work and research, I also found that when I love myself on the inside, then I don't get sick. Like, I started healing from my childhood trauma 10 years ago and I never got COVID. Like, I haven't been sick in 6 years or so. Like, before, I think 2019 was the last time I had a sore throat or any kind of cold or anything. And why is that true? Well, cancer cells vibrate at about 80 or 90 hertz. Well, when we love ourselves, and that naturally recalibrates our nervous system, love, compassion, and enlightenment vibrate at between 500 and 1,000 hertz. And the faster the energy, the more transformative it is. So something vibrating at 100 hertz can't survive in something vibrating at 500 to 1,000 hertz. Cancer cells literally can't live in a human body when the human body has an energy field that routinely vibrates between 500 and 1,000 hertz, like mine does all the time, because I experience enlightenment all the time. But how did I experience enlightenment all the time? I've been at home for 10 years, haven't been on a date, nothing, working on myself, meditating at home, processing my wounds, asking myself, why do I have a hard time apologizing? And then listening to my subconscious when it tells me, oh, you believe that if you apologize, your loved ones will leave you. I'm like, well, that's not logical. That's not logical. That's a fear. Fear resonates below 100 hertz. So let me change that into wisdom, 500 to 1,000 hertz. Every time you learn a lesson, every time you change your wound into wisdom, you're helping yourself and you're helping everybody else through a process called morphic resonance. Physicists study our energy bodies. They know what it does. And there's books on this now. And this one book called Morphic Resonance, it tells the tale how, I think in the 40s or the 50s, and then, the 20th century, 40s, the 1940s, 1950s, men were trying to run the mile in under 4 minutes. And one man finally figured it out. But it took a lot of effort. And quickly, within the next year, 500 men did it. Why? Because all of our souls are connected through this network like the internet, right? We have energy bodies. We're all connected through our hearts. So when I open up wisdom within my soul, because all the wisdom and knowledge housed in the universe is housed in every single soul, we all mirror each other, then that becomes readily accessible to other souls, other humans who, want to use that wisdom. So that's why I stay home and I meditate. I experience enlightenment because changing the world is an inside job. So let me get into that, Dr. Joe Dispenza, let's watch his. And then I'm going to say that all the science that he's used, Dr. Joe Dispenza is, where is he? Is he, that's not, here he is. Okay. So let me share my screen and we're going to listen to Dr. Joe Dispenza. Same topic.
If you said, okay, I'm going to work with my body and I'm going to start breathing and I'm going to start feeling emotions that I do want to feel, the heart starts producing a very profound signal. It starts to produce an external magnetic field. It's measurable. So now you have a coherent brain, which means you can get very intentional. And you have a coherent heart, which means you can feel the emotions of your future before it happens. Somehow you have this broadcasting of this Wi-Fi signal. And the brain tends to be electrical in nature, so it sends out an electrical charge into the field. The heart is the magnetic charge. It's what draws things to us. It's the magnetic field. And now you actually, by changing the way you think and the way you feel, you're changing the signal in the field. And if you're able to maintain that state for an extended period of time, I say something magical is going to happen in your life.
So like he kept saying, you change the field. The field is the sole governing agency of the particle. So when all the souls, as the collective of souls, when we have a lot of fear, guilt, and shame in our souls, then we have a lot of fear, guilt, and shame in the collective. We attract what we are through our hearts. So how does that work? So our soul, heart and soul, right? So our souls communicate through emotions out of our hearts. And our hearts, the nervous system in our hearts, quoting Dr. Joe Dispenza, is far more complex than the nervous system in our brains. And our hearts send far more signals to our brains than the other way around. And so the electromagnetic field around our hearts is 5,000 times stronger than our brains. So our hearts are in charge. That's why Rumi said, follow your heart, it knows the way. When something is true, it's true in multiple places. So people might think that they're acting on their hearts, but the heart sends a signal. That's the heart's action. Okay? So if you want to change the world, we have to change our souls, because our souls communicate through our hearts, project onto the world, and then the energies that resonate or a vibrational match with what we're putting out is what draws our perception. So if I'm putting out a lot of fear, guilt, and shame, what I'm perceiving, what's magnetic to me, to my heart, right, is fear, guilt, and shame. So like my youngest daughter, my oldest daughter, all these immigration raids we're having now in 2025 and 2026. I almost died after she was born because I went right back to work and I got really sick and I spent 2 weeks on a ventilator in ICU with bacterial pneumonia. I became septic. So major abandonment wound, because all of a sudden I was just gone, and an infant, mom's gone, mom's dead. And that went into her subconscious. So she started getting really upset over this one immigration video where the mom was separating from her child, and I'm teaching her wisdom, like the universe is a mirror, showing you yourself in every moment. We attract what we are through energetic resonance, that magnet in the heart, meaning a vibrational match. I'm like, oh, so why are you attracted to a video where the mother is being torn from the child? Gee, that's, this is why we're here as souls having a human experience. So we have to learn how to operate our souls, because our souls are in charge of everything. Okay? And we're not late, because the time for self-healing started in 2012 per the Mayan calendar. You can look that up. But let me I have one more video to show you on the power of meditation, and then we're going to get into my free ebook where I go over the 6 divine feminine self-love strategies, including changing the world as an inside job. Because what is the world? The world is an energy body. So we got to change our energy bodies individually. So the signal that we put out is that we search for more love, compassion, and enlightenment. And the more people that have that signal going out will naturally change the world, because where we'll put our attention is towards love, compassion, and enlightenment in a healthy way. And then so the fear, guilt, and shame will naturally, like, okay, we're not attracted to that, draw boundaries around that, like the immigration policy in America, Same thing. What will naturally come out of us with love, compassion, and enlightenment are healthy boundaries with self and with others. So let's watch this next video and see what he has to say we can learn from. What happens when you meditate?
All right, so quick take on meditation.
Meditation is becoming the most widely used and accepted complementary practice. It's not new. It's thousands of years old, but we have good research. Neuroimaging does show changes in the brain when we meditate. Research shows that our telomeres, those little caps, those little legs on the DNA, actually get healthier when we meditate, when we do longer term meditation. So there's a lot of benefits that are measurable, which I think is helping make it acceptable to the medical profession, but it's also transformative. I meditate almost every day, and I'm a better person for it. Years ago, I had a friend who was a horrible person. He was hard to be around. After his midday meditation, he was a much nicer person. So meditation is powerful.
So let's all meditate and become a much nicer person, okay? Let me bring up my 6 Divine Feminine Self-Love Strategies ebook. There's a link below. And, I'm a kind of DIY girl, like DIY trauma healing. I'm not here to accumulate lots of clients. I am here to communicate that you can do this on your own. I'm teaching you how to operate your soul, because we're all souls having a human experience. We're all multidimensional divine beings. And the only person you need is yourself, because you're the only person who has sovereignty over your own soul. Okay, so the only person that can change your soul is you, and I'm going to teach you how to do it at home by yourself. If you want a session, cool, you can go to my website, but really most people don't need a session with me. And there's a meditation and drumming video on my YouTube channel. Okay, so let me share my screen and we'll bring up my 6 divine feminine self-love strategies. All right, let me go back to the top. Or you know what, let's start here. I'm at changing the world as an inside job. Okay, so let's look at this statue that I resonate with a lot. And that statue is about a grieving parent. So the whole heart is gone. I felt like that from the time I was about 5 years old. My only memory from kindergarten until recently, some things have come back. Like my whole life, I only remember playing alone in the classroom in the dark. If that kind of tells you anything. So I had to learn how to go from that to opening my heart so wide that I experience enlightenment all the time over the past year and a half. Okay, and I think, well, why did I need to go through that to, climb Mount Everest, the spiritual Mount Everest repeatedly? Well, laws of physics. I have to go equally deep to go equally high, and that's in another lesson I'll get into. Here, what it shows you is that our internal reality is projected externally. So our external reality reflects our internal reality. Okay, so going out and changing the external reality when the internal reality has not changed will not create long-term success. The only way to create long-term success is to change your internal reality. So what you project and the energy you put out and what you perceive and where you put your energy is far more on love, compassion, and enlightening experiences, healthy relationships, healthy businesses, healthy politics, healthy boundaries, definitely healthy boundaries, as opposed to, well, they're afraid and they're hurt and I gotta help, and there's no sense of self or sense of health, what's mine, what's yours. And that's when we kind of when I embodied fear, guilt, and shame in my soul, then my relationships fail, my marriage failed, my challenges with my kids, I experienced depression all the time. So when my own energy field is filled with wounds, subconscious, and I'm unconscious, I'm unaware of myself, then I project that externally, and what I'm contributing to the global energy field is bringing everyone down and not bringing everybody up. So now I've kind of turned the tide internally, so now I can help bring everybody up as opposed to bring everybody down. And let's look at this laws of physics experiment that I have here. It shows 5 metronomes. And the wisdom that says you're the summary of the 5 people you're around the most? Well, this experiment, let me bring it up, will show us how, why, kind of a physical representation of how the fastest moving energy is the most transformative, the most kind of there's 2 metronomes going super fast, and we're going to see how they all go really fast together. So let me bring that up. So I'm new at sharing. So, spontaneous synchronization. Let me share this and make it large. Here we go. So I'm the fastest metronome. So as you see, the other ones on the right are now in alignment with the fastest ones, and the one on the left is coming into alignment. This is what happens when you meditate. This is why change is an inside job, because hang on a second. So this is why change is an inside job. So, the 2 going super fast, they didn't go over there and push the other 3 that were going slower. They just kept going super fast. And the energy, the field, is the sole governing agency of the particle, right? The energy field, those 2 metronomes that we're creating by going super fast, the energy changed the physicality. The physicality didn't change the energy. Do you see what I mean? So physicality of going out and protesting isn't going to change the energy in the hearts. Okay? The energy in the heart is going to change the physicality of the problem you want to protest for. Our heart, follow your heart, it knows the way, right? But acting like that isn't getting us closer to solving the world's problems. So let me go back to my ebook, and I'll show you a little bit more about it, and then we'll wrap up. But there's a free ebook link below for you to check into all of this wisdom that I've gained over the past few years, 10 years, and then I wrote my book, My Inner Heroine: Exploring Feminine Pain. But I'll just show you quickly the ebook here. Okay, so it's the 6 Divine Feminine Self-Love Strategies. And it's 9 pages. It's a summary of all the wisdom that I've gained while healing my own trauma. And I use laws of physics, psychology. A lot of Carl Jung is in my book. Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Bruce Lipton, epigenetics, Dr. Gabor Mate, who specializes in how childhood trauma impacts adults. He does family medicine. He's super famous. So I kind of rely on, I'm in alignment with a lot of the experts, okay? So the first lesson is appreciate, learn, and forgive, and that will teach you how to process your emotional pain and turn your emotional wounds into personal wisdom, and teach you why regret and remorse are just not necessary in life. Our souls plan everything. So why is there any regret or remorse? And how can I be a victim if my soul plans my life for me? Love hierarchy tells you that self-love comes first. And what is self-love? Healthy diet, healthy exercise. And exercise is different for men and women, but you can Google that. And meditation, walking in nature, barefoot in nature. A lot of doctors now are prescribing nature time as opposed to medication. So you can Google all that. It's all DIY stuff, It's all pretty logical. Learn to surf the waves of life, and that's in alignment with a Winston Churchill quote. When something's true, it's true in multiple places. And then this one, I have a laws of physics experiment that you can look at to help explain that wisdom and knowledge. Then the universe is a mirror, my favorite one. This one really helps with relationships because it shows you how when you perceive selfishness outside of yourself and you want to say, you're selfish, that is your soul showing you the selfishness inside of yourself as feedback for you. So look into that one. That one's pretty great. We did Changing the World. And then the last one is Pain is an Initiation Process to Personal Growth. So anyway, thank you so much. I hope this has been valuable for you. And please like and subscribe. Take care. Bye.